Hey everyone, it's Maydad here from YV Health and Wellness. And tonight I'm joined with a great friend of mine from many years ago, Bo Keogh. Good evening, Bo. How you doing?
Hey, buddy, how you going, mate?
I'm doing great. It's been a while since we spoke, but it's great to catch up with you. We haven't spoken for a while, have we?
No, I guess just in Bondi, isn't it? Just sort of cross paths all the time in Bondi.
Yeah, it's amazing. We first met at Spin City at this Spin Cycle City gym where you were personal training and doing your hands-on work as a massage therapist, which we'll go into in this session, the Bo Chi method. And I was a cleaner there, but I was also running my boxing gym as I had my boxing ring and that there.
Yeah,
But
good boxing ring.
yeah, it was great times, wasn't it? Unfortunately, that gym was knocked down and they developed units from it. And great memories, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was a great spot. It was,
Mm.
I do miss those great little gyms like that. It was like a community. Had a great pool. Um, yeah, I mean, it was one of those gyms that I think that I would rather go to, and I think people would rather enjoy now than I find the gyms are a little bit plastic, a
Yeah.
little bit McDonald's.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's such a part of commodity today, like all these franchises and that. There's nothing really personal, is it? It's just log in with your card
Mm.
and log out. But just to enlighten everybody watching us and watching this back, Bo's the founder of Bo Chi, a hands-on method that was handed down to him by his grandfather many years ago. His work is really amazing. He's worked on me with all my injuries and that, and he's going to share with us a little bit about his journey and his philosophy on the work that he does. Bo, can you tell our viewers a little bit about your journey, your background, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, yeah, Bo Keogh, born in far north New Zealand, way up the top in Kaitaia. Uh, been coming to Bondi pretty much since about 8. Um, and and that was mainly because my grandfather and my grandmother were here, as along with my brother and my uncle. But it was mainly following my grandfather around and learning massage, acupuncture, and boxing.
Mm.
And he had learnt from a Japanese guy up in Vavau, up in Tonga. And so I started watching and doing massages pretty much from the age of 6. And I mean, to see it, I mean, from there, just the interest of watching my grandfather fixing people, healing people, doing, was sort of known as a witch doctor. Um, Pretty basic sort of stuff, but it was amazing how he did it. And it was amazing to learn that way, that even those first, most of my life seeing massages and that were in a garage, on a wooden table as such. And it was mainly for the love of it, really, or fixing people, but you'd get paid in smoked fish, cakes, cases of beer, or people would cut your hedge. Um,
The New
so
Zealand way.
yeah, the New Zealand way it was. Yeah, it was barter, and so it was what was needed, and it was amazing. My grandfather was just amazing at his job, or how he could. I mean, he's always said it. Massage is an old man's game. The older you get, the better you get. So I'm still not up there as what I like to think as good as what he was, but definitely getting closer every day. That's the way it goes there.
It's evident with with the work that you do, with all the people that you look after with your hands-on work. Bo, can you tell us a little bit about where some of your studies outside of that, what led you to this point?
All right. Well, mainly did a lot of coaching and things like that as a kid. I loved my sport. Really gave it all. The whole idea of giving you the best you can, was verging on a good career there in soccer, then had a head injury. But that led to just being a coach, more of a coach, still massaging and things like that as well. Sports science, degree in sports science in New Zealand before coming here, and just constantly learning. It's mainly from a lot of coaches, done a lot of different, I was a sprint coach, strength coach, all the different rugby teams in New Zealand and soccer and rugby league. I did a lot of rugby league in New Zealand. Over here, there was a little bits of sprint coaching with St. George, East's rugby, and Aussie swimmers. I guess that was the other one as well, running away to Flagstaff and doing altitude training, as well as being a sprint coach and a strength coach there, as well as a masseuse.
You've been pretty busy, Bo, with everything that you've done. Can you tell us what position did you play in soccer and where did you play in New Zealand?
Sweeper. I was all about the back.
Sweeper.
That was mine. That's my area. No one's allowed in here with a ball.
My son plays defensive mid or cam. He loves that position, and I think it suits him. But sweeper is such an important role in your ability to scan the field, organize your backs, organize your midfielders, communicate with your keeper, and just take and really take control.
Yeah,
Really take control of the back line, and that is why some captains in a lot of teams are sweepers, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm naturally pretty quiet, but it was amazing as a sweeper. Everyone could hear me, and it was being that voice.
Got to be in that position, don't you?
Yeah, you got to support your team players, and tell them to cut in behind. He's mine. I'll take this guy. Which, I mean, that's where I guess I learn a lot of that psychology, especially in soccer, because it's physical, but it's not as physical as rugby league or boxing. But
you really have to be clearly. Like I know when my son plays at that position, he's always talking to the backs to teach him to invert, go up as wing backs and all that sort of stuff. And then the midfielders will make up, their portion and make up for that and balance things out. But it really is a position that you really need to understand the game in.
Yeah. I did love that spot because you're domineering. You got to, I guess it's the closest you can get to an enforcer, I guess. Not that I was much I think I'm not a big thug, but you could use your voice well.
Yeah, you got to really lay down the law, mark up, or whatever, push up,
for the whole game, keep them going.
And really, it's not a position for somebody like, I know you said you were quiet, but it really isn't a position for somebody who doesn't like to voice their opinion, is it?
Yeah. You're going to piss off some people, and you got to try and bring them back up. And that was definitely the bit I really enjoyed. Well, just stopping them from scoring. I mean, that's it. A cocky forward. It was always the best fun in the world, just to shut them down.
Yes, frustrate them and annoy them.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, Bo, what got you into this line of work? I know you shared a little bit about your grandfather. Maybe you can delve in a little bit deeper about what, I know you love what you do, but what got you into this line of work?
Really, I think it's wanting the best out of, myself, but I think we're all always our worst critic. So it's a lot easier to support others. And I really do love other people meeting their goals, as well as, I guess I've always been a watcher, watching biomechanics, watching people move, watching a lot of situations. So then just filling all that knowledge up and using it with so many different people. I mean, that's it, to achieve every person that's on the table, I say, is an athlete, because you've made the choice to come and get fixed or work on your recovery. Amateurs usually don't do enough. So that's why everyone that's on the table, they're a professional and they're an athlete. I think it's about taking life seriously. There's a lot to do with your mind and that as well. These times are the hardest times at the moment now with phones and all electronics. It's very easy to lose your way and lose focus. So how to bring them back and keep things simple. I've always had well, kisses. Keep it simple, successful, enjoyable, smile. And it's always been the last two, enjoyable and smile. Or even another one when I was training people, it was like, if you're not having a good time, you're doing something wrong. So, I mean, that's even in the hardest work sessions that you're doing. You're not necessarily going to smile right then, but you will smile afterwards. So training in the rain, that was that one thing. Now it's raining today. That was always one of my favorites, is getting people out and doing some hard yakka. And when you do some hard yakka and then you have a hot shower, you feel $1,000,000.
Oh, couldn't agree more. The endorphins and just the feeling after training, there's nothing better, is there?
No, that just leads to, well, one positive move moves towards another positive move. Trying to break that loop of where we are our worst critic. I often do it myself, or knock myself down, and I think it's something that everyone does. But you got to catch yourself, and if you can slow that down, and then you can also be a better person. If you're better to yourself, you're a better person to other people. So that's the way I like to think it. It's like smiling. If you smile, it's contagious. You're going to pass on to that smile to someone else, and it keeps carrying on. So you've changed your environment and everyone around you. So it's, yeah, I think it is being a little bit, enjoy your crazy.
But we're all that way, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I know before my performances in aerobics and before my boxing, I didn't mind talking to myself. I didn't mind. I was not convincing myself. I was like reassuring myself that I'm going to do this, or I'm reassuring myself that this is how it's going to go.
I've got this. I got this.
Exactly. Exactly. Whatever you can relate to it. I mean, however we want to project it in whichever words we want to choose, that's what it was all about. I've got this. This is what's going to happen. And I think that self-talk, that internal dialogue, that's so important. It's so positive, so reinforcing.
Yeah. Yeah. That this day and age, I think it is, like I said, enjoy your crazy. I think everyone needs to be a little bit more open, and maybe high-fiving more often again, or just praising people, saying, good on you, good work. Because it only leads to better stuff. And, we can all be good together.
Not being so analytical or judgmental. People do need to learn to dance more, sing more, enjoy life a little more.
Dance. That's exactly it. Enjoy the dance. I mean, that's the way I always think boxing is as well. So it is. Hey, especially the one in boxing, I think is like getting hit, but not too much. Yeah,
not at all. Tell us, Bo, and what do you love about the work that you do? I know you work as a personal trainer. You've done some sports science, and your degree in sports science back in New Zealand. Where did you do your degree in New Zealand? Was that in Otago?
No, that was in Auckland, Akaranga, it was called, North Shore. It was sort of the first start off of a whole lot of sports industry. The management, everything, nutrition. It was such a vast knowledge of everything, along with coaching and things like that as well. How to set things up for sponsorships, as well as doing case studies and the science work.
That would have been very interesting, huh?
Yeah, it was. The science stuff in particular, because of, well, not being a fathead, but you notice things that the textbooks is like, hang on, the textbooks isn't quite right there. And you couldn't write down what you knew as true knowledge. You had to stick to what the textbook said. But that's science for you. It changes with time, and it takes a while. But yeah, it's more knowledge. I mean, it is amazing how much knowledge there is out there, and it's, as long as we treat everyone individually, it's not the same for everyone. Everyone's completely different, and what works. So
It's incredible when we do case studies, whether it's science-based or not, how, as you said, individuals are really different. One individual will differ from another, and the results that you get may mean something completely different from what the book says, completely
Mm,
different from what the rules say. But as you say, it's different strokes for different folks.
yeah, yeah, it is. Uh, and I think that's that way. A bonus of the massage really is the head's in the hole. The head's in the hole, so they can let go. I'm there to sort of read between the lines as such, but they're just understanding the body and the muscles, fix the muscles, but it's all connected. I mean, it is all connected, and it is so much of their epigenetics, what's going on around them. And hey, look, it's funny having a push at the computers and things like that again. How we get caught up in stuff that's, if it's not within 1 meter or 5 meters around us, we can't do much about it. Yet we get caught up in emotion, and we get caught up in worry and fear. What fear, obligation, and guilt. It's amazing how easily humans are programmed, but how to bring it back to being the simple things. Looking, you're not going to find butterflies if you don't look, or rainbows. I'm always that one. You're not going to find a rainbow unless you go outside, and it's real living, and not getting caught up on the silly things that can take up so much of our time and energy, mainly the energy. So that's you always see that coming through on the bodies, with body work, massage, movements. Um,
You know what I really, if I can recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, I recall when with the work that you did on me, and for any people out there who have had a massage before, who've had some hands-on work or any sort of manual work on their body, will know that a lot of the places that you go to today, these guys and girls are all doing the same sequences on every one. The thing about Bo, working with Bo, with his own Bo Chi method, and I don't know the method, but I know what it's like when you had the work done on you. Then correct me
mm,
if I'm wrong, Bo, because I'm going back a few years now.
yeah.
But Bo does it. He drains. He goes right through the body, and he doesn't just do a sequence in that. If you've got an injury or something, I know that I can remember when you were doing my back. I think it was my lower back, from all the work that I was doing in the boxing,
Mm,
and then you were like almost like sifting through the body, through the lower back, and you were just sifting through the muscles, sifting through the muscle fascia, and
mm,
he was and it was different. It wasn't just an ordinary sequence that you go to in some of these Thai massage places or some of these places today that you go to. Guys do the same sequence. Okay, I'll do your legs, your glutes, your lower back, your upper back, your shoulders, your neck, and that's it.
mm.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
and-
You,
sorry.
oh, yeah. I was just, yeah. It's amazing. You're right there. It is working on the whole body, top, from the heads to the toes to the fingers. Following the energy, following the power lines or the energy lines.
That's
Is
right.
what.
Now I remember well. Excuse me for interjecting there, Bo. But if when you talk about you're following the energies in that, because I've done a little bit of studies on energy magnetic fields. I know when you work, you do work with energies in that. Can you explain to people what can they expect with the work that you do with Bochi and explain that energy lines that you follow and you work with? Because everybody's different that
Mm.
walks your clinic.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, I like I said before. Sometimes I think I've got a fat head, and I think I know. Talking to people, and they hop on the table and it's like, oh yeah, I know what's wrong with you. But it's not till you actually put hands on and notice twitching or blockages. I mean, there is that sort of thing of the nervous system. I think people's nervous system's a lot higher now than it. Bodies are different from 20 years ago. Massaging muscles used to be a lot juicier. So
Why do you think that is? Do you think is because they're so caught up with modern technology in front of being in front of a computer? Um, because
Yeah, I've got to run with that one. I mean, I've already had a poking a stick at the electronics. Um, but other than that, other than food and the water and yeah, but bodies are different. Yeah, you have to work. Like I always had the hot towel, a hot wet towel to start and cook people with. Now there seems to be a little bit more multiple towels. I'm using a lot more salts. So I might even do a hot towel, sprinkle a bit of salt, and throw another hot towel to try and get the electronics to switch off a little bit better.
When you use it's like salts for that, like salts or something like that on the body.
Yeah,
That like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Got my own sort of little mix as such. Or I call it my secret salts. It's not really that secret, but it's there is I like to cover all the bases. Like you're not too sure, but there's a lot of Himalayan, two different types of magnesium, eating sodium bicarb thrown as well. The main thing is with the steam and the hot towel and just trying to force the salt through the skin to, well, one, you could say it does make my job easier, but it's better for me to find out what's really going on. You do have binding in the muscle. I use an iron bar. I still use an elbow and thumbs and things like that, but on
Is that more like scraping, like muscle fascia scraping, like the Hawaiians did, or because I love that scraping. I know that I had not just cuffing, but hajima, and I also had a lot of scraping. I love that scraping, that
yeah, it's a specialized feeling, isn't it? That pain.
inducing
Um,
of irritation to the muscle fascia allows all the blood to run to the surface, and it really allows it to run to that injured area and
mm,
repair it obviously better.
yeah.
But great, great feeling.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. The iron bar. Well, it's even upgraded now from there's the wooden bar if someone's too electric, and then I even have a couple of different steel bars. One's that even is a magnet. Um, and as nutty as it is, I mean, because I mean, I've seen some crazy things with my grandfather massaging, how he could manipulate muscles without even touching them. Um, and it is getting into that energy fields, but I'm seeing them now myself, and it's even what happens sometimes. I have to throw off the feet, throw off the shoes, sorry, and use that magnetic sort of iron bar along with me grounding into the ground and sort of try. I mean, I don't know the full electronics, but the difference between a bound muscle that's rigid and won't let go, and then all of a sudden you can be in bare feet and use an iron bar and it softens up. Um, it's it is amazing, and that in the fascia. I mean, the fascia. It's amazing for so many years. You know, fascia and lots of people understanding. My grandfather spoke around fascia and lymph, your whole lymph system. Um,
Lymph drainage and stuff like that, right?
yeah.
I know you do a lot
Oh,
of that, man. I know you did that a lot. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I swear by that now. I mean, especially, well, the same thing with science. They're going to be changing some things around where they're saying the lymph area is going to be the biggest organ in the body now instead of the skin. Whether when that's going into a textbook, I aren't too sure. But it's funny, skipping and on a trampoline, a mini tramp, and things like that. The best ways to get your lymphs bouncing as such, or moving, or pumping. I mean, great if we can all get out and jog and run, but sometimes we've got sore joints and things like that, and it's I mean, especially as a young fella saying, oh, all these old people on mini tramps, so what are they doing? I'm on it probably 4 to 5 times a week now myself. And it works. I mean, that's the thing. I know the lymph does work, but, it changes in your nervous system and you actually feel happy from bouncing. So, I do look forward to getting back to skipping again, but still another couple of months off, I think.
Yeah, skipping is such a great exercise and it's a great activity. Um, I just think that it's so important for our neural awareness. And once we learn to skip, the better we become, the more creative we can become with it. And that is so important to be able to access that creative side of our mind. And that within itself is a workout. But Bo, you've touched on a few different things there. Um, and want to refer to your massage and the word Bo Chi, right? And I think about the work that you've done with me, and we talk about lymph drainage and all that stuff. And with all my studies and things that I'm still studying today and going through and that, I have delved heavily into learning a lot more about overriding your central nervous system, and in doing so, allowing me to reset my vagus nerve.
Yeah.
And the combination of work that you do when you talk about energies, when you talk about being in that state, meditation, when you talk about having enough water, having the right diet, having the right environment, all contributes to that energy magnetic fields, the positive energy magnetic fields that we're all searching for. I think there once was a competitive athlete, forget her name, what the lady's name was, and she was a national champion, went to the world championships and that. And she was asked, what is that secret ingredient? And she couldn't completely answer that secret ingredient, what that secret ingredient was. And I learned years later that secret ingredient, that we're all looking for to perform equally at our best every time we step out on the field, is that energy magnetic field that is thriving and firing, igniting through us. Unfortunately, that could be steered aside or blocked, and it's just not radiating as well as it should be by some mental belief, some psychological belief, some environment. Could be raining and it just not feel comfortable in the rain. Could be so hot that you feel dehydrated. Could be due to a psychological effect where you've been arguing all day with somebody and you just can't get it off your mind. But all these little things affect a person's energy magnetic fields, and in the long run, they will affect their performance.
Oh yeah, that's very true. That's well, it's nice to see it's been spoken of quite often now. All the magnetism, all the energy fields, and it is. We got to know. I mean, as modern humans, I think we've got to. One might work for us today, but it might not work tomorrow. So we've got to have an arsenal of ideas and being open to it. I mean, I think I like to think that I'm not as ignorant as I was, but I mean, it is the way we don't believe things because we can't see it. But magnetism is. One of my favorite sayings, there are no accidents. There's no accident. It's certain things happen.
Yeah, the energy magnetic fields that are radiating through us. I'll say that again. The energy magnetic fields, I'll say that, sorry. The energy magnetic fields that are radiating within us are attracting these energies to us. Sometimes wonder why two people go into a room, and in that room, it could be anything. One could be a person that suffers from some sort of trauma, and another side of the room, the other person suffers from a similar form of trauma. Before you know it, those two people in the same room who don't even know each other will end up talking together, whether it's on an intimate level or a friendship level or whatever level it may be, but they will attract one another. It's just amazing. And I think, like, you spoke about there's so many multiple different ways of, if I could say skidding the cat. And I like to hum through the day. I like to gargle water through the day. I like to meditate, take cold showers, do ice baths, get some grounding. All these little things that we talk about help me reset, realign, and override my central nervous system and allow, in essence, to reset my vagus nerve and get on with my day without being burnt out And I think that's been so important to the work that I do. And I suppose anybody doing long hours, I'm sure you can contest to that, the massage itself. So many people don't realize that their bodies are hurting, not because they've done anything completely strenuous in that, but it's because all the psychological impact that their work
Yeah.
has compounded overthinking. And human beings tend to overthink, and as a result, it does lead to stress, it does lead to burnout, and it does lead to needing a massage at least once
Yeah.
a week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That the ones that are, do come in often, once a week, uh, they're not getting paid, but in my eyes, every one of them is a professional. They so know what they're doing, and it's they're the best. Well, you can see it, I mean, that's the bonus for. I mean, I know I can fix people and things like that, but my my brain always, or my mind always gets in the way. And to actually see people that can operate well, and getting a massage every week, that's the reason why they're there. Hey, look, it doesn't have to be every week. There's still the ones once a month and things like that can do it. But I mean, my goal is to get one a week. It's usually one a fortnight for myself. And you've got to have, and a bath. I mean, I mean, there's no more boozing,
Yeah,
no more playing up or anything like that. So it's going to bed early and really understanding all those times, like I said, boozing, that I didn't really want to be boozing. I wanted to be getting up early and training and surfing.
that's such an important part. Getting quality sleep, deep REM sleep is such an important part of living a quality life. I mean, you just miss one night's quality sleep. It takes you a couple of nights to get that quality sleep or to get back into your rhythm. But most people who talk about healthy sleep patterns and who suffer from sleep deprivations, and I'm one of those people that I've had to have some sleep studies in the past with where I stayed overnight at hospital and they did some sleep studies on uh, trying to find out what was stopping me from getting quality sleep. And since I've learned so much more about it, I've been able to not use a machine. I don't use a machine. I haven't used
mm,
it in years. When it comes to the environment, there are no electronics in my room.
yeah.
Always the right cool temperature to make sure I can get that quality sleep. Um, there's no lights, Blu-ray lights or anything like that. And the benefits of having a cool temperature in your room when you're aiming to get good quality sleep, especially at night, is the body will get deep REM sleep when
Yeah.
it drops its temperature by 2 degrees, and it will come back to its waking state when it raises the temperature back into. It only needs 2 degrees to raise up to come to a waking state. So those are things that I think like simple things, but I think if one can follow those habits and instead
Yeah.
like do a little breath work before they go to sleep at night, meditation or something to soft music.
Well, that's the whole getting your intention right. And I mean, that's, I guess you're the South with kids. It's the wind down. I always think of it as the wind down, the afternoon, your intention of winding down to get that good sleep. You get, especially, I mean, I've always envisioned that, if you got 4 amazing sleeps in a row, that guy on that fifth morning, how would I feel? And it's always that's the goal, to get to that guy. How often does he happen? Not often. But
And
you got to have that intention, don't you? I mean,
that's the goal, and that's what leads to having good energy magnetic fields running through your body. There's a
mm,
guy in New Zealand by the name of 𝙤𝙤. He's a former IFBF natural bodybuilding champion. I think he won it about 4 times in a row. He's an incredible natural bodybuilder. But he got me involved into energy magnetic fields, and he does these energy magnetic fields testing where they do them online. So what they do is they record your voice for 10 seconds, and it requires you to count to 10. Um, and it was a procedure that was developed or by an Australian professor, and they record your voice counting to 10, and they're able to use that voice, that recording, to analyze the state of your health, the state of your stress,
Mm.
state of your if you're getting enough grounding, if you're getting enough quality sleep, if there's trauma. And for me, when I did those testings, and I've done about six so far. I'm due to have another one. I'm probably due to have one in the next 2 weeks, and I will be doing that with that practitioner. That they told me we can tell that you've got injuries in your neck, we can
Mm.
injuries and blockages in your lower back, and I hadn't told them anything about my injuries, and told them about anything about uh, being exposed to stress because I was at that particular time I was under the pump, having to pay a mortgage and all that sort of stuff. Um, but I think this is the age we live in now. There's so many
Yeah.
different um,
Treatments and, well, awareness.
mm,
Awareness. I mean, that's the.
modern technology is amazing. This
Mm.
Australian professor set up this tech this they designed this program, this technology, and he was able to record people's voices and be able to come back with that sort of feedback. And it was amazing, and I've since been tested every 3 or 4 months, and with that, um, I'm able to get more and more clearer on how my energy
Mm.
magnetic fields are radiating, and they really do contribute to everything in our day, don't they, Bo?
Yeah. 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 I've always, your biggest critic is always you. So, we're so good at destroying ourselves, and yet we're the biggest. Ourselves are the ones that can pick ourselves back up. So the awareness and knowing, saying hurtful things about yourself, or not respecting yourself, not loving yourself. Uh, I mean, it's especially the way I always like to think about it is we judge. I mean, self-judgment is guilt. So why do we give ourselves so much guilt? We're sort of so well trained to do it. Um,
We are so attracted to it. We're so anxious to our own spirit. We're so judgmental, and we're
mm,
we're our worst critic, aren't we?
yeah,
No one else
that's
is telling you that, oh, mate, you're too short or you're losing your
yeah.
head, even though you are. But that's not that shouldn't be stopping me from doing a lot of things that I'm not doing. But
Exactly.
Bo, I wanted to conclude this session by asking you if you could share with our viewers what would they expect with the Bo Chi method when they come to see you.
Well, it's usually Mr. Fix It. If there's Mr. Fix It, the whole idea is stepping towards your goals. So there's making sure there's a plan as to, like, well, this is what's happening with your body. Passing of knowledge. That's definitely the other one, is like where you're at. Your body has no opinion. It is what it is right now, but it can change. And it is to do a lot with the homework, but I'm just planting seeds. So as I really like to always say, that one, the farmer passing planting the seeds. But really, it's the first step into trying to understand their body. That happens a lot of people that lose touch. It's like you and I having a chat now, but people don't understand how to chat to their body, or the body's telling them stuff and they can't hear it. Or, I mean, the other classic one is people that don't feel pain, and yet the body, I can see the body feeling pain, but they're not registering it. They're just completely unaware. So just trying to pass on the knowledge, I guess that's the main thing. And to a step towards to being the best that you can. Live your life to the fullest is definitely the way I was always pushing people. Live it to the fullest. Be true to yourself. So after getting a massage, hopefully it's a step closer to same thing. I mean, how many journals have I given out for people to start journaling, getting closer to what really is going on? I mean, I guess, I mean, that's that thing as well. I do love the spiritual side as such, the soul, I mean, that's because a lot of people are fear of death. And so, hey, look, your soul lives forever. This vehicle is going to break down, so let's look after it. Get the best out of it.
Not rocket science, is it, Bo?
No, no, it's not really.
Um, Look, there's an old saying, and I'm going to share it with you before we conclude tonight's session. And it's was written in a book that my brother bought me called Acts of Faith. And it goes something like this. The harvest that we reap is truly cultivated by the seeds that we plant. Now, Bo touched on the seeds that you plant in looking after your body, nurturing your body, and getting a massage. And it's probably one of the most important things that modern society needs to embrace more and more is blocking time, making time
Mm,
for ourselves to clear the energy,
yeah,
get some grounding.
that's probably number one awareness there is actually blocking time for you. It's funny how you can have a calendar and work and everything, but there's not anything there to say, hang on, that's for me. That's what I'm doing to make me better. Uh, I'm terrible at it myself.
We're
And
all we're all guilty of it. We should all be making
oh,
time for ourselves, even if it means going to get a haircut, a massage, or enjoying a meal without walking down the street and eating it on the way.
mm,
Sitting down and enjoying the meal, turning off your phone, turning off the TV, and just chilling out and enjoying that moment. Bo, it's been amazing talking to you and really good to catch up with you. It's been a while since we spoke. I know that some of our viewers watching this and watching this back will want to know how to get in contact with you. Can you share with us some of the best ways to get in contact with you? For example, your Facebook, your Instagram, any website, or a mobile number to contact you on?
probably mobile. I'm terrible on Instagram. I do have plans to try and to sell some of these ideas I have in a quirky way, but the best way is the phone. Uh, will my phone be there?
Yes,
Done.
yes, yes. She'll print. Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually the best. I love texting and
What is
talking.
what is the number if you don't mind sharing it?
0410 748 260. I do have a website, 𝙃𝙤 Massage and Fitness, 𝙃𝙤 Recovery. But I got to be honest, I'm terrible at looking at the computer side of things and my emails. I do have email as well, but it's uh, I try not to stay on the computer. I always find myself getting sucked into it.
Yeah, I'm
So
guilty with that. I know what you mean. A little guilty with that. Not that I'm scrolling through different social media stuff, but more so my studies and emails for people and just doing stuff for the work that I do. But Bo, it's been so good talking to you. I look
it's been
forward to
great,
catching
mate.
up with you next time I see you down Bondi or Coogee. Have an amazing evening. And to everybody at home, don't forget next week I'm going to be joined with Charlotte from Ways, the North Bondi Youth Group. And she's going to be talking about all the great work that they're doing with the youth. Um, they run a lot of amazing programs down there from arts,
Mm.
craft, sport, after school care, and all that stuff, even student care, people sitting for their HSC there. And
Oh,
they also
no.
bring a group of students down to my gym where I train them once a week. So I look forward to seeing you. That's next Monday night, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. Until then, from Bo and I, have an amazing evening and enjoy your week.
All right,
Cheers.
buddy. Big love.